All right, we'll take questions for the student athletes.
Max Bunstetter, Sports Illustrated. Defense is key for your team. How do you plan to stop the quick guards of Marshall, especially John Elmore?
We're going to key in on them, team defense, just like we did against Murray State. Everybody's going to get a chance to guard them, and we're going to focus and just do our best on them.
John, Chuck Land of Herald Dispatch. What you've seen Elmore some? What's your thoughts on him?
He's a very good player. He can shoot the ball. He can score many different ways. And he's a very good player.
Any other questions for the student athletes?
It's for all three of you. Mark Ziegler, San Diego Union-Tribune. Marshall's a team that's pretty heavily into analytics and base a lot of what they do around it. How much do you guys use analytics? How much are the coaches coming to you and giving you advanced statistics? Or are you guys pretty much an old school team that just grinds it out and plays your system?
Very old school. We just go out there, we play hard. We just try to be the aggressive and rebound it, play defense, try to turn them over, speed them up, and just do what we do.
Just like he said, just try to take things away from them and just make them uncomfortable.
Brent Scrotenborg, USA Today. How do you guys feel about playing Marshall in particular, 2,000 miles away from West Virginia?
It don't matter. This is March. We're here to win a national championship. It just happened that we just matched up against Marshall. It don't matter who it is. We're going to come to play and do our best and try to get a win.
It's another game.
Would you guys like to play them during the regular season every year if it's up to you?
That's not up to us.
Any other questions for the student athletes?
Mitch Vengo from Charleston Gazette-Mail. Coach, I was just wondering, a lot has been made off the court about the series and everything, but I'm wondering, the game itself, how do you think that these two teams match up, and where do you think the game will be decided?
Well, they do a terrific job with spacing. I think Danny probably does as good a job of spacing as anybody we have in coaching. You got to make shots, Mitch. I mean, it comes down to, at this time of year, you don't get as many open shots as probably you get during the regular season. So you got to make them count when you do get open shots. So hopefully we can make some shots. We won't start out 1 for 14 or whatever it was.
Coach, Bryce Miller from the San Diego Union-Tribune. I know in the heat of a post-game and deadline and all those things after your game, there still is a lot of discussion today about the series and the history with the teams and the series ending. Just in your mind, is that all for us? Is there any bearing on what happens on a basketball court with the kind of history you guys have?
Yeah, I'm really glad that you guys enjoy it. It really doesn't matter, does it? I mean, one of us is going to win, one of us is going to lose, one of us is going to keep playing, the other one isn't going to keep playing. I don't. We're on one end of the state, they're on the other end of the state. We don't really cross, So, it's from our standpoint, it's not what you want to make it out to be Duke, North Carolina. It's not that. I mean, it's not that at all.
Mark Ziegler, San Diego Union-Tribune also. A question about analytics. They're very much into analytics and openly say they base their offensive schemes around them. What part do analytics play in your coaching? You've been at this a long time, and And what is there any place for them in college basketball? In the future, do you see them becoming a bigger part?
I'm sure there are. I don't know what it is. Danny could answer that better than I'm sure there is. It's a game of neuromuscular integration. That's what it is. It's muscle memory. It's doing the same thing over and over and over and over again until it becomes ingrained in your neuromuscular system. So, to me, it's repetition. Now, maybe analytics can tell you what kind of repetition to do. I don't know. I've been doing this 40 years. My dad was a coach. I can't ever remember not being in the gym. And I remember being in the gym when my dad was playing at Alderson Broaddus College, so I've been in the gym a long time. I just don't. You can make numbers, I think, sometimes say whatever you need them to say. And so I'm more in line with we're going to drill what we do. We're going to try to continue to do it over and over and over again until it becomes a habit.
We're going to go first over here and then back there.
Kyle Waniger at ESPN. It's been 20 years since the Jared West shot that kind of left a lasting impact for.
You just won't let things die, will you?
I just wanted to ask, what kind of lasting impact has that shot left on the program at West Virginia? You obviously have a pretty unique.
Well, they show it before every game, which I can't believe they would do. But it's every game they show Jared banking that shot in, and the Mountaineer running out on the floor, firing a gun, and the cheerleaders following him and all that. It was supposed to have been a technical, but we passed on that. I don't know. I mean, Ruben got a piece of it. If he wouldn't have got a piece of it, it probably wouldn't have banked in. But I mean, it's a great win for West Virginia. I just happened to be on the other side at that time.
Tim Booth from the AP. Bob, I don't mean to bring up more old history, but
you will.
I will. Purdue lost Isaac Haas to an injury after their first round game. You kind of had a similar situation with Kenyon back, I think it was '97. How do you balance having to account for losing a key player like that with also not getting away from having to, I guess, make wholesale changes and still do what you do well?
Well, you have to understand, we just didn't lose a player. We lost the best player in the country, the unanimous National Player of the Year. And there wasn't even anybody else talked about. He was the unanimous National Player of the Year, and he did it at both ends. So it was a big loss. It was a big loss for us. There's no way around it. He was a great player. I mean, he went on and played, 15, 16 years in the NBA. After the broken leg and after the microfracture surgeries and all those other kind of things, he had incredible toughness, and he brought incredible toughness to to every game. So, I mean, I know Matt well. We've scrimmaged and all that, and he's a really good player. I don't think they depend on him as much as we depended on Kenyon. They've got a bunch of guys that make shots. They really outside of the one big, they play pretty small, and so I think hopefully for them they can adjust and do a better job of it than what we did.
Up front.
Max Bonstetter, Sports Illustrated. I heard you talk about all your recruiting players that want to play for your program. How do you determine whether or not a recruit wants to play?
Well, we watch them a lot. And I think it's you go on the AAU trail in July, and the guys that decide they need a rest, we really don't need. We need guys that are going to play hard. We need guys that play every day, that show up and play every day. I just did a CBS radio thing with Mike Montgomery, and he said, I am amazed at how hard Javon Carter plays. Well, I saw Javon Carter play at 8 o'clock in the morning, sitting there drinking my coffee, and it was pressing then, running around like crazy, stealing the ball. That's the kind of guys we want. We want guys that want to play.
Coach Bryce Miller again, San Diego Union Tribune. What does meeting on the stage mean to your state in the tournament?
Well, a lot of interest, obviously, but you have to understand our state. I mean, it doesn't matter who we'd be playing there. I mean, there's going to be almost everybody in West Virginia either watching it on TV, listening to it on the radio. I mean, that's our state. You know, we don't have, we're so different. We don't have professional teams, and we really only have two major colleges. And you know, people rally around West Virginia. It's not just the people in the state; it's the people who, unfortunately, had to leave the state to get a job, you know, to do other things. So it'll be people in Texas, it'll be people in New Jersey, it'll be people in Georgia, a ton of people in Florida, and they're all going to tune in and watch it. But they do that all the time. I mean, that's their, you know, whatever it is, San Diego Chargers or they're not here anymore, are they? Padres, scratch that Chargers thing. Padres, you know, that's what we are. I mean, we are the flagship for the state.
Hey, Bob. Mike Casaza, 24/7 Sports. Marshall's on the way up with their offense and what they do being unique, and you turn things around with your defense being unique. Just relative to succeeding, I guess, what's the value just in being unlike other people?
I think it helps. I mean, I think back when Syracuse was one of the few people playing 2-3 zone the way they played it. They didn't play it flat like it had been played for years and years and years. They raised those wings. And what Jim did with that, I thought was very unique, and it really bothered people. I thought it took their program to really another level. They were good already, but I think they became great. They became one of the great teams in the country. And it was the uniqueness of what they did and how well he taught it.
Any other questions for Coach Huggins?
Okay, Coach.
Thanks, guys.